and welcome to this week's edition of Chesapeake Weekly. A new pharmacy has come to town in the South Norfolk section of the city. Chesapeake Regional Healthcare has officially cut the ribbon on Chesapeake RX.
Well, so when the community approached us, they came and said, we don't have a pharmacy in South Norfolk. So I think there was several independent, private pharmacies, but, that era has passed. And there was just a void here. So we're here to basically provide a basic need. This is a community we serve. If local residents come to us and say, can you help us? This is what we need, then we respond to that.
Aside from prescriptions, we will offer immunizations, patient counseling. We're hoping to get our mammogram bus on board with a visit from them the first week of every month. We're going to have a nurse practitioner on board, so somewhat of an urgent care that we'll offer as well. It's amazing and an honor to be part of this. It's a needed service in this area. Folks won't have to travel so far to come to a pharmacy, and for some hometown service, we're ready to provide that. So we're super excited, can't wait to open and get started.
So there's just a lot of, what's the right word, but nostalgia, and it does tie into our theme, building upon our legacy, which is not just words. It really is meaningful. When our hospital was built, it really was a very special way that it came about. And it's incumbent upon us to remember and honor that past and to build upon the legacy. So that's why we're here today.
The first event of the new Chesapeake Forum is just weeks away. This exciting new program will bring educational and inspirational speakers to our city. The Chesapeake Forum is run by a group of dedicated volunteers. We spoke with a familiar face around here who is the president of the Forum's board of directors, Dr. Rebecca Adams.
We wanted it to be something that was totally nonpartisan, nothing political about it, so we picked speakers for our inaugural year that came from very different backgrounds. The very first one comes up in just a couple of weeks, January 29th. Jane Pauley, who is the anchor for the CBS This Morning on Sundays, will be here. We're thrilled with her. Then on March the 3rd, we have Dr. Mae Jemison. She was the first African-American woman astronaut that went into space. And the last one is May. On May the 14th, we have Ronan Tynan, who's a member of the Irish Tenors, but he's also a para-Olympian, somebody who holds a lot of titles in that. And that's what we want our folks to do. We want to bring people together in this community to have wonderful evenings with outstanding speakers. We have music provided by our students in Chesapeake schools.
The Chesapeake Redevelopment and Housing Authority is opening its wait list and accepting applications for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher program. This program is a rental assistance program for extremely low to very low income families. There are some tight restrictions on this process, so we went to CRHA Executive Director Justin Brooks to learn a little bit more about the process.
So on January 30th, CRHA is going to be opening its Housing Choice Voucher program. You'll often hear Housing Choice Voucher referred to as Section 8. And so this is a tenant-based rental assistance program that has been in existence for years and years. However, this is the first time that we've opened the program to new applicants since 2007. And so Norfolk very recently opened their program, and over a 4-hour period, they had 11,000 applicants, and we're anticipating numbers that are possibly higher than that. And so, we're currently really working in the community to make sure that we are being proactive in putting that information out to the right sources so that everyone will have access to that application.
Anyone interested in applying must do so online Thursday, January 30th between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Only online applications will be accepted. You can access that application at crhava.myhousing.com. Well, just because you don't always see them doesn't mean they aren't there. There is a homeless population here in Chesapeake, and thankfully, we have many programs aimed at helping them. But in order to be the most effective with that help, we have to know how many there are. That's where the point-in-time count comes in. Here's Mary Riley with the Department of Human Services with more.
The point-in-time count is an annual count that is required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or known as HUD. And it allows us to go out and take a census of all those that are living on the street. HUD, with their Section 8 and their projects, so to speak, weren't intended to be life-serving. They were intended to give folks a start and then help them to move on to to be able to sustain themselves in housing. The count is done by volunteers. We gather volunteers or folks that are willing to go out and count. They join up at a police precinct. The police are actively with us, and because they know where our homeless are living. And so they take us to various parts of their precinct to actually conduct a census of those that were living on the street. So the count is important because it allows federal dollars to come into our region. HUD dollars allow us to create SROs, or single occupancy apartments, like Heron's Landing.
A big community-driven effort to help the homeless this time of year is, of course, CAST, the Chesapeake Area Shelter Team. Through CAST, churches around the city take turns hosting the homeless overnight to offer a warm reprieve from the winter weather, as well as many other services that they may need. The nightly pickup point for CAST is located by the new We Care Resource Center for the Homeless, 1468 South Military Highway. To find out more about CAST, both for those wanting to help and those in need of services, you can call the Department of Human Services at 382-2000. On Tuesday, February 4th, there will be a town hall meeting at Grassfield High School from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Town hall meetings allow residents to bring up their questions and concerns in a less formal setting than the usual city council meetings at City Hall. This town meeting will use an open house format in an effort to get your questions and concerns addressed in a quicker, more efficient manner. There will be no presentation, so you're welcome to show up whenever is convenient for you within the time frame. When you walk into the meeting, you'll find different stations for topics that you can go straight to the source. Voter registration is now open for the first of several elections to be held in 2020. The first election is the presidential primary, which takes place on March 3rd. Then on May 5th, we'll have local elections for the mayor and city council, and the big general election on November 3rd. If you're not registered to vote, what are you waiting for? You can do it online or in person at the voter registrar's office or any of several voter registration drives that take place throughout the city. Absentee voting is now also open for that March 3rd election. All of this information, plus important deadlines to be aware of, is available on cityofchesapeake.net/vote. Chesapeake Public Schools is looking to hire more teachers. They have a job fair scheduled for Thursday, February 13th at 4:30 p.m. at Western Branch High School. Both experienced and new teachers are welcome. This will be to fill gaps in the 2021 school year. And of course, we can't mention school jobs without reminding you that they are always looking for bus drivers, so consider that as an option as well. Learn more about all employment opportunities at cpschools.com/human-resources. Drug abuse, particularly opioid addiction, is a serious concern across the country and even right here in our own city of Chesapeake. Integrated Behavioral Health is hosting a Revive course to train members of our community to spot opioid addiction and to be prepared to treat an overdose. The training takes place on Thursday, January 30th from 2:30 to 4 at the Central Library. Seating is limited, so you do need to register. You can do so by visiting eventbrite.com and searching Revive Opioid Overdose Course, or by calling CIBH. Enjoy a Saturday morning learning all about the trees that grow along the Municipal Center as part of the Tree Trail. Meet at the Great Bridge Community Center at 9:30 on Saturday, January 25th, and a tree expert will be there to start your tour. Be sure to wear comfortable walking shoes and dress for the weather. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Chesapeake Weekly. We'll see you next week.